What's going on, everybody? So today I'm gonna be having a little story time about my 20B experience. It's been a long journey, to say the least, and a lot of reason we'll talk about the reason why like the car's not running and stuff and everything that's happening. First, Angel Motorsports. They're the one that built the engine for me. When I first got my first FCs, had like about a GXL automatic NA, and then went from that. I wanted a 5-speed car, and I found out about turbo 2s at the time. I was probably like 13, 14, and I know that's pretty young, but I've been a mechanic for a long time, helping my dad and stuff, and I've always been interested in the cars and hot rods. Well, he had first brought the GXL NA to my cousin's house and asked if his son was interested in it. And when they was on the way, I had searched up the car, and he was like, if it's third gen, he was like, he'd be super interested. Well, I looked up the prices, and the prices wasn't, super high at that time, but they was still, a little bit pricey. But I was like, yeah, I know it's not that. And to be honest, at that time, when I seen that, I looked up all 3 generations, and I was like, that second generation, I kind of seen the prices of it, and I was like, it was more likely that generation of RX-7. I was like, I kind of like that better than the FD at the time. FD is usually everybody's dream car, but when he pulled up with the car, I thought the car was really cool. Nobody in the family knew nothing about rotaries or nothing like that, so the car sat over at my grandparents probably for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years in their driveway, because him and my papa was fixing cars and selling cars at the time. And I just always walked around that car. I just thought it was such a cool looking car. I liked the lines of the car. I love the 80s and 90s style of cars, especially the imports. And I would sit in that car, and the feel of it, the way, they really started making the RX-7, and even like in the Japanese stuff, more, driver oriented in that year model. And just the pop-ups and the aero mirrors and the taillights, it really, it was my style. So we got that car, and we fixed it, found out the problem with it. We got it running from buying another one. And during that time, I knew I wanted a 5-speed car, and really kind of finding a 5-speed hatch was pretty hard. Marketplace, I don't even think was such a thing at the time, and it was just Craigslist. So finding, the cars we could find today was, sort of tough during that time. But we ended up finding one actually pretty local to us. Sure enough, had a RX-7. It was a 88 FC vert, and it was a 5-speed, and it was a pretty low miles. I think it had like, I want to say it was like 60,000 original miles. Like normal vert problems. The convertible top was ripped. Some of the interior of the carpet, was rough, but the inside was good. There was no rust in the car. Had some pings and some dings in it, and didn't run. We didn't really know, but the guy told us it was probably, for sure a fuel pump issue. So we bought the car. We got it for a good deal, and we took it home, swapped the fuel pump in it, and sure enough, the car fired right up. And I kept that car for, I think it was like a good probably a year or 2 years. Did a side job with Dad. Any of my birthdays or Christmases, I asked for, nothing but parts. And ended up putting, a new convertible top on it, fully redoing the interior, full stereo. Ended up putting some wheels on it, and I already had a full brand new exhaust system on it at the time. Ended up putting like aluminum radiator, hoses, a lot of the normal stuff you do RX-7, full delete to the smog pump and all that. Here now, though, we don't have it, so but you know, made everything right. It was a good running car, and my dad found it. Was my FC that I have now, and the woman, she was selling it. Her and her husband was going through a divorce, and she was trying to sell the car, and which is it's a 90 S5 Turbo 2. At the time, I think it had like it's got 135,000 on it now. It had like, I want to say it was like 85,000 original miles, and I got that car for like 3,500 bucks, 2,500 bucks, something around there. That's, you know, today's market, that's, you know, pretty cheap. So you can even find S5 Turbo 2s that sell. Black interior cars are even harder. So, and you know, that was like ultimate dream for me was, you know, Turbo 2 FC. Well, I got, you know, more acquainted with R7's rotaries. You know, I really started falling in love with them, and you know, around, I want to say, I think I was around 16 going on 17, we found my FD that I got now, and the dude was wanting, it was actually on Craigslist, and like I said, the marketplace stuff, you know, wasn't really, you know, I don't even think it was a thing at the time, and well, we found it, the dude wanted like $25,000 for it, you know, non-running car, and you know, just, you know, that's like today prices. That was not 2017, 2016 prices. Ended up working on the guy for like, bugging him like 2 or 3 months. Finally, I ended up getting the car for, I think it was like around like $5,500. He ended up bringing it down. He needed some money for a down payment on a Viper, and just couldn't find nobody to, you know, fix the car. So we bought it for unrunning car. He gave us a lot of extra little parts that he had brand new, and you know, over the course of time, probably 6 months to a year, you know, I worked on that thing, worked on it, got it running. The normal little problems, fuel pump, cleaned the tank, injectors. Found a guy out of Florida that had a lot of parts for sale, and he hooked me up on a lot of good parts. Shout out to you, Paul. And you know, got it all together, got the V-mount, you know, and just did all this thing, you know, probably going on, of course, a couple years. I got the car running good, and then the coolant seals and the turbo started going out, so I did a single turbo conversion on it, and you know, we painted it and everything, been to a few shows with it, and then I was at a show it was in Talladega, and it was just dead heat. Noticed the temp started getting up, and ended up blowing the coolant hose off the throttle body, ended up blowing. So we fixed it there at the show, and drove it back home. That's Talladega's, I think, like a little over an hour, 2 hours from us, and it made it back. Well, I noticed it was smoking, and I was like, you know, I was hoping it wasn't coolant seals, but I did some testing and everything, and ended up being coolant seals. So, and I'm still in high school at that point, not able to, you know, even afford nothing like that. You know, an engine rebuild or another engine, you know, especially an upgrade. So I ended up, the car sat for a while, ended up pulling the motor out. Me and Dad was going to rebuild it herself, and I was like, you know, it's like I really know what I wanted to do. You know, I heard a 3-rotor back, you know, when I first started getting into R7s. I heard the 3-rotor, and I didn't even know what it was, and you know, I just knew that was what, you know, I wanted to do. So it was like, you know, do I put the money into the FD engine, or do I go to the, you know, next step and, you know, start on the process of 3-rotor, swapping the FD? And you know, I was going through a lot of challenges in life that time, but you know, I was a year out of school and worked a lot of hours. You know, I had some help financially from friends and family, and you know, I made it happen on the engine. Well, I started, after this time, it was, I got a text here, screenshotted everything, and there's a lot of stuff I've, you know, I don't have. I went through, you know, a couple phones at that time, a lot of phone calls, well, I wouldn't even say a lot of phone calls because half the time I could never get him to even pick up a cell phone. But back in it was June 17th, 2019, I messaged Mike about, you know, three-rotor, you know, what's the longevity, you know, what sort of power numbers, you know, all this, because I kind of got in my head, you know, what sort of power goals I'm looking for. You know, I didn't want to LS swap the car. I didn't really want to 2J swap the car. I thought about 2J swapping it, but I was like, you know, I really don't want to, and 2J was really starting to come up in price at that time. So May 18th, 2019, I texted Mike. I said, do you have a price on what you charge for a 3-rotor FD swap? I'm wanting the 20B swap. I already have a 13B out and a single turbo swapped it. But that engine needs coolant seals, which I already have as well. So I bought the coolant seals and allowed to do that. So he had quoted me around 18K. So at that price, what does that all include? I come with Haltech ECU, subframe, custom oil pan, turbo manifold, engine, intercooler, AEM cools, pretty much a turnkey swap. And that's what I was kind of wanting. You know, I was wanting to basically take the car up there, engine, you know, he was going to get the engine in, build it and everything, and I was really wanting to drive the car back. That was like ultimate goal. I was going to try to make it around the time, maybe, you know, Dill's Gap Rotary Rally, swing in there, you know, get to enjoy that for the week, and then drive the car home. You know, and you got to think, I'm in Alabama, he's up in Virginia, so you know, that's a good ride. But he said he would need to sit down and put it all in, but it can go up and down depending on what turbo you want to use. Well, did provide him with a turbo. He said they really aren't that bad given the motor is $5,500 alone. What other people sell them for at $9K for a stock motor. You know, at that time, you know, you kind of seen the prices. 20B's like was about to start kind of going up, so I was like, I seen the price of it. He said $5,500. Like, man, that's really obtainable. Where, you know, if I'm gonna have a 13B built, you know, that's gonna be, you know, $5,500, $6,500. So I was like, why not just go ahead and take that step of buying the engine? So at least make around $750, $850 at the wheels. You know, it's kind of like my goal at that time. I said, and yeah, the motors aren't bad in price for the gains you get. I said, it'd be more to add a V-mount and add AC and power steering. If you know anything about rotaries, you know, front mount, you put that intercooler out in front. Just the radiator, it just can't cool it as well. So, you know, I already had a V-mount. I was kind of hoping maybe my V-mount setup might work with it. But I was like, you know, it is what it is. If it don't, you know, I understood, you know, you have to just get some stuff made custom. So that's why I asked, you know, is it possible to even do the V-mount? Is it possible to keep AC, power steering, you know, all that sort of stuff? That's what I was wanting at the time. And he said V-mount would be the same price. Not hard to do. So that was May 19th, 2019. I texted him back June 17th, 2019. Said, hey man, we'll be up there to pay you for a 3-rotor engine. July 1st to 2nd, one of those days, if that's cool. Not sure if you will be working or not, just wanted to check and talk in person even more about the build plans for when I do get the rest of the money to bring my FD for you to get to work on. So he said, yeah, just come before July 5th. So that works. Just out of curiosity, because, you know, I was curious, Dad was curious, and, you know, didn't know a lot about rotaries at that time. Still kind of like not up to speed with me on them, but, you know, he does know a whole lot more. But he, you know, so Dad was asking me some of these questions. Out of curiosity, how long do you think that 20B will last at, you know, around the 800 wheel horsepower mark? You know, miles/years, either way. My pop's curious. He said years. This was the next day. He texted back, he said years. 20B is reliable because of the extra rotor. You don't have to run dangerous amounts of boost to make power. So I was like, cool. You know. So June 21st, 2019, I was a change of plans. At that time I was working at Mercedes-Benz, so, you know, I'm kind of like off the mercy of them. So my job was going on a full mandatory 11-day work schedule for the week of the 4th. So I told him, I said, I'll be there July 17th. He said, crap, I won't be back till the 31st. I said, crap, not sure what to do now. Because I already had kind of like went ahead, you know, place a vacation. So, let's see, you know, that was yeah, that was kind of like the end of that. I think I had ended up reaching out to him on Facebook or something. Like I said, I have some stuff, some messages, some of them I don't, from having 2 or 3 phones. This is stuff that I still let me, see on Instagram and some of it on Messenger. So mid of 2019. So from, during that time, it was July, August, I ended up going and purchasing my engine, and birthday's in August, so it was like kind of like an early birthday present for myself. So from there, purchased the engine, and he was kind of on me after that. After he got the engine, it took about 2 weeks to get the engine in, and once he received the engine, now he was kind of responding back to me pretty good in that time. Never really heard nothing from John. John was in California at the time, so it was just Michael. But from there, from August into August, I think it was like the first week of September, he got the engine in, and basically from September to December, I was sending him money, and I sent him a good bit of money, because like I said, he had quoted me a few things. Basically he had quoted me $18,000 on this. Well, I had ended up buying a ECU, Haltech ECU harness, all the sensors and stuff, no cools, but I sent it to him, to his shop, and I was providing a turbo. I knew I would have to take that up there, and so like two things off there, that was knocking prices down right there, just from the turbo, ECU, harness, sensors and all that. So I knew I still had to get wastegate, all that sort of stuff. So back March 23rd, 2020, this is on. Said, hey Mike, per conversations we had back in December of 2019, we had spoken about, because stop there. We had he'd said he could get this done in 3 months. I was like, man, 3 months, that's way too fast to the deadline. Like, we build cars and stuff, that's, you're doing too much, man. You're trying to, no, I was like, let me give you 6 months. I was like, after another 3 months on top of yours. And he was like, no, dude, I can have you, by first year, or by December. He was like, I can have, the car running for you. Okay. So, during that, I took the car to him in October. Right before my fiance's birthday, actually. Took the car to him in October, and the car sat from there from October to December. This is in March 23rd of 2020. There's a few months in there I don't have a text, lost them, but said, hey Mike, per conversation we had back in December 2019, we had spoken about what the $14,500 paid for. Why the price went from 18 to 14.5 was because of the turbo and the ECU stuff. Me and him had, made an agreement and all this, what this was going to cost. Said that included engine, clutch, adapter, machine work, installation of engine, clutch / adapter, transmission. Is this correct? I was doing CD09 swap too, but I knew that was going to cost more, but it's like, no, we're not going to do that. But he said, it wouldn't cost no more if I did that, because, he can pull the transmission out, or he had the trans, he would put the kit in there, either way, went at it. I said, I have sent the Haltech ECU, harness, flex fuel sensor, fuel pressure sensor, the turbo, transmission, and had the fuel system wired up and mounted and routed. Back in August of 2019, you told me the car would be done by the end of March 2020. It's coming that time, and what's the progress looking like for that deadline? Thanks. Then March 30th, 2020, I'm starting to get aggravated. Well, they laid me off at Mercedes. I worked there a year. So I said, Michael, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm out of money right now. And I was out of money. I knew there would probably be a couple $1,000s that I would have to, you know, come up with here and there on stuff. You know, prices increase, but you know, he had the money already sent to him to cover all the seals and stuff, building in the engine, all the machine work, you know, clutch, you know, all of that stuff. So it shouldn't have been a problem. Which think, you know. I said, what's y'all amount of money right now, and I can't afford to get you to finish the car out. I wish I could, but I can't. I want you to use the money for the transmission / clutch kit, and just make the oil pan and modify the subframe and install the fully built engine. I still have no job from a layoff from work. I do not want to lead you on about the car and would rather you have you finish what I have paid for and sent you money to cover, which is building the engine, all machine work and parts for the engine, then the oil pan and installation of the engine / modification of subframe. I would love to have a date that when that would be done, so I can pick up along with my parts and get it out of your shop for someone else that has the money to finish or move along to finish their project. Really do appreciate everything. So same day, from 5:40 a.m. to 8:28 a.m. he said, okay, no problem. So he said that I'm closed because I'm sick. So I'm doing little things here and there, but I'm not giving an ETA this month till 100%. And I understood. And that's what I told him the same day. I said, yeah, I completely understand, and thanks again. So from March 30th to March 15th, 2020, I said, hey Michael, any updates on the shop being open? What about any updates on the engine being built? Figured I would ask because I know some of the northern states are opening up and a good bit of lower states are opening back up. This was, you know, during COVID time. He said, this week. I said, cool, just keep me in the loop if you don't mind. Go from the 15th to the 27th. So any ETA or updates on the car or engine? No response. May 28th, next day, question mark. Text me back, none, no updates. We've been closed for a couple of months, as you've seen. We're getting back on track now. So I said, so what are we thinking on the engine and car we'll get started on? Is it reply? Yes. So same day, a little later in the day, I said, what does yes mean? He said, I think you meant when. Read your comment. Not sure, I'll check tomorrow. There's a work list of when cars got dropped off. Nobody is skipping ahead of others are at, but right now I'm home. I said, yeah, I meant when. That's my bad. But he was at the racetrack and I had a race. That's all I wanted is to know basically where mine is at. I don't want to jump nobody. So just been curious on where it was on the list. So just message me around 11 tomorrow, I'll check. I said, okay, will do. So the next day, we get to the 29th. Hey Michael, did you happen to check up on where I am in line? Our response is 11:38 a.m. 11:38 a.m. Text them back at 12:40 a.m. or after lunch. Just let me know when you get a chance. An hour or so about my by. Said, yeah, just got in. I said, okay, cool. And will you need any more money for anything else? Have the engine dropped in? You know, I wasn't really curious. This is going on like, well, May 29th, 2020. This was going on pretty close to, 8-9 months. Wasn't really sure, if anything changed. So from about an hour later, I said, anything? He said, when did you drop it off? I said, October 23rd, 2019. Paid for the engine August 8th, 2019. He said 14 on the list out of 30. Still doing little things, but before the engine gets installed, you're number 14. And I said, okay, did you know if you was going to need any more money or what has already been sent? Is it enough to cover the modification of the subframe, oil pan, and installation? So not until we get to that point. Right now you're covered for the engine and the engine being built. I said, okay, one more thing. Is it possible to just sell my Half-Tech 750 you have up there for $1,100? Because I'm going to get the 2500 series. So he had quoted me for the 750. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade to the 2500. Get him to get that money. I was gonna send him more money. Go ahead and upgrade. But I'm waiting at this point already. So long anyways. Might as well just get go and upgrade. He said, let's see, no response. That was the 29th. So I texted him July 23rd, so almost a month. Will you be around September 11th? It's on a Friday. I need parts out of my FD for my FC, and I want to pick all my parts up that I've dropped off that are not important to you installing the engine. I need to know so I can reserve a hotel room. Yeah, I'll be there. Cool. Any updates? No response. September 4th, 2020. Hey Michael, I think this Friday when I come up there, I'm going to go ahead and pick my car up as well. So all you will have to do is focus on my engine and get that bad boy wrapped up. He says, I'm in California. You going to be back by next Friday, September 11th? Yes. Okay, good. That's the day I'll be there. Shoot, if my engine was done, I'd pick it up that day as well to get it out of your way. LOL. He says, your car isn't in the way, by the way. That's why I got the storage side. LOL. I would rather you leave it so I don't have to push 15 cars to get it out. LOL. But I'll have the car ready for you. Okay? If you could promise me in like the next 3 months that the motor would be ready with subframe and engine over in there, I wouldn't mind leaving it. You know, and I wouldn't mind, you know, but it's the fact of, you know, I keep getting, you know, 3 months, another 3 months, another 3 months, another 3 months. It keeps dragging off, you know. So, you know, this is going on a year at this point. You can promise me in like the next 3 months that the motor will be ready and subframe and engine over in there. I wouldn't mind leaving it, but to be honest, my patience is wearing a little thin. I realize you got a business to run and other customers besides me. So let me know. He said, yeah, I can do that. Just COVID backed up so many things. Send me a picture of an FD. Just got done with this one. He threw a rotor swapped it. I said, Mike, I believe that you do good work. If I didn't, my car wouldn't be there. And what you sent me looks awesome. So if you can do that basically right before Christmas or right after, I'm good with it. So you can get it done in the 3.5 months, right? They said, yeah, that won't be a problem. Okay, sounds good. I'm game with it, but I am still coming up on September 11th, that Friday, to pick up my CD09 turbo and a couple things out of my car from FC. He says, okay, I'm pretty much just getting the engine built and installed with no turbo or manifold. I said, yes. We can talk more about those details when I'm there in person. Engine built, subframe modified, custom oil pan, and installed. I'll bring the car back for you to tune after I get it going. September 11th. So I get there, you know, around that time, you know, I told him I was going to be up there. He'd pick up my parts, you know, give him the ECU and stuff, like we had talked about, you know, sell them. He did sell it for me. Well, you know, I ended up trading him, because he was supposed to give me a turbo manifold, you know, built forever. That dragged on forever trying to get a turbo manifold built. So I was like, well, and the one he was building me was identical to the one that he had in his car. So I was running the same turbo, same wastegate and everything, you know, and well, I have the manifold. I swapped him the ECU for the manifold. You know, now that I got the excessive lower intake, the manifold don't even work. You know, that would probably cost about $2,000 to build that manifold. Well, you know, $1,100 in it, a little bit more. You know, when I bought the ECU and everything, I was probably about, you know, $1,800 in that, but I sold it for $1,100. So basically, I traded him $1,100, you know, dollars in my mind for the manifold. So you know, that was what it was. But you know, some of this, he invited me to the racetrack, and so I texted him. You know, asked when he was going to the racetrack. He called in the morning. You know, we went up the racetrack. You know, had a good time. You know, I'm thinking, you know, cool, you know, he's like, you know, he's understanding, you know, I'm growing up, you know, I'm, you know, wanting to be serious, you know, in this car, you know, it just keeps dragging out though, you know. But so from there, and I told him, you know, that, you know, I was swapping the ECU, so I went back before I headed back home, and we went ahead and made that deal on the manifold to the ECU. So so then I, you know, talked to him about running fuel tech. I thought about, you know, been hearing a lot of people, you know, talk more about fuel tech. Fuel tech started kind of like coming up at that point. I was like, you know, nobody really put a 20B in with fuel tech. So I was like, you know, talked to him about it, and he was like, you know, he didn't really know much about it. I just heard it was, you know, pretty expensive. But So, you know, we talked about that, you know, back and forth, sending some parts for his FD because he broke it that night at the racetrack. And so, you know, when I talked to him about, you know, going drive-by wire through all the body, he was like, you know, he didn't really know a lot about it at that time. And so I told him, you know, some about some of the kits and all that. And let's see. So then I asked him a few questions. You know, at that time, me and him were texting back and forth. He was replying really good. You know, I'm working on a few FCs. I had a customer car I was working on. You know, I sent him a little video, asked him a question on it. And you know, he's getting back with me. You know, real, pretty decent. You know, within a couple days. 14th, basically, the time that I left, to October 30th. You know, granted, we've texted a little bit here and there on it. You know, finally asked him, "Hey, Mike, any updates?" No response. From October 30th, 2020 to November 25th, 2020. Text again. Anything new on the FD? You priced the subframe or anything to see if I was going to need to send some more money here or anything? No response. From the 25th November to the 30th November. Hey Mike, just letting you know, I'll be up there December 19th. Just checking to make sure we're both on the same schedule. Checking to make sure to see what we got left and what we talked about would be done. You know, just checking in on, you know, the timeline. So from there to December 1st, no response. So I texted him, said, will you be around that day? He said, trying to figure it out. The machine shop is still closed. They're expanding and I'm still waiting on the subframe to show up. I'll know more this week. What about the manifold and downpipe? Can you talk a minute? Got a couple of quick questions. That's already getting made. He said, I said, can you talk a minute? Got a couple of quick questions. He said, I can text, I'm in bed. I can talk tomorrow though. I said, what's a good time to talk tomorrow then? Because I need to get all this straightened out before I head up to get the car. Just need a plan. I'll start my new job January the 4th. I won't have time, any other time to get it. So from December 1st to December 9th, no response. I said, can you talk real quick? Never, no response. Text him back, question mark, no response. So I'm free to talk. He said, I'm driving right now to California, moving the Cali shop. I said, that mean you can talk? I know you can't text and drive, lol. And he said, I'm not sure if you will hear good passing the Grand Canyon area. He tried to call me, I got, finally we could work about, talked on the phone on Messenger, and it dropped. The messenger call dropped. I asked him if I could call your cell. He didn't respond to that, and he said, what's your number? I sent him a number, and we had talked, for 30 minutes, an hour or something about stuff. He had gave me updates on his car, how it was doing, some merch updates, more than just kind of like what customer basis. I feel like, but it keeps not responding. It's my problem, as a shop owner. You really need to keep up with your customers, keeping in touch with them is the biggest key. We run our own, little small business too. So, keeping, customers up to date is super important. And that's your number one priority. So, from there, from the 9th to the 14th of December, I said, update on how far along y'all are or anything. He said, not even close. I'll have to have Mallory pull it out. I said, dang it, okay. Yeah, I'll help. I don't want her to have to push no cars around. I know she's pregnant right now. I don't want a pregnant woman to push cars around. I know she's pregnant right now and don't want her to strain herself or anything, So from the 14th to the 17th, so I'm leaving out tomorrow night. So I'll be in Virginia around 11 to 12. But I won't pick the car up until Sunday a.m. around 8 to 9 if that's cool. He said, okay. So I'll keep in touch. 2 days later, so I made it to the hotel in Chesapeake, Virginia. He said, okay, car's out ready. Keys in it, right? So Mallory has them. Let me know when you want to get it. She will meet you there. So in the morning, that's fine, around 9. And let's see. A couple hours later, I said, or will this evening be better? He said, today probably. But I can be down there in like 20 minutes. Wasn't that far away from this shop. So because I'm not like 10 minutes away from the shop in my hotel. Texted him back. I said, I'm here. And that was from 302 to 341. Sat there almost an hour. It's crap, just saw this. You still there? I said, yeah. Trailer ready and everything, LOL. I don't need no help, just the keys. I said, she's coming. I said, alright. And I sat there a good while. I understood she's pregnant and stuff, but the fact of the matter is, like you're gonna push somebody's car out and you're not even there. You're gonna get your wife to, come help. A person that you just know, the customer. It's not like it's a friendship. Like you're not friends with them. You've only met me, a few times for me coming up there. But that's just a little wild to me. But so I texted him from December 19th there to February 2nd. I said, hey Mike, any info or updates on the engine or subframe and manifold? But granted, this was, we started in 19. We're in August, on 2 years. So from August, a little over a year. So we're only on to 2 years. So from August, beginning of August 2019, we're going on a year there. This is February 2nd, 2021. I said, hey Mike, any info or updates on the engine or subframe or manifold? He said, still waiting on parts. Machine shop is closed still for another week and a half. I said, okay, I understood. I said, 10-4, we still good with John building manifold. Me and him had talked over the phone about maybe just getting John building manifold versus the shop he was using or whatever the guy he was doing. Could never get him to get it done, so we're just tired of waiting on that guy. I want to see some sort of progress. If it's a daggone turbo manifold getting built, that's cool. But I want to see something get done. He said yes, he's almost done mocking up, or he's almost done setting up the other side. Just need power. So that was John at this point. They moved back to Virginia, so he was getting all that set up over there to I guess do all the fabrication stuff. So cool, thanks. Just keep me posted. So from February 2nd, 2021, February 18th, 2021, so the machine shop back open now. Seeing Cletus and cars got postponed till end of March. He's thinking the engine will be done by then, so we can meet still. Because I told him, made him a text about what's gonna go up there. Hopefully he could have the engine. I could just pick everything up. That was what's supposed to happen. Text him back same day. Said unfortunately he's not, but soon. Text him back. Said okay, has John got any power yet? He said not yet. How about the subframe? No response. So waited February 18th, 2021, March 15th. That's the whole month. Which company did you end up going with subframing? And any new updates on shop power machine shop? Waited from 12:04 p.m. 7:17 p.m. Question mark. No response. Waited another couple hours. Question mark. Another hour. Text back. Said just saw these. Please message me at the shop number. I have notifications off here. I said on Messenger or text. Don't message on Messenger. I turned it off. Sent him the phone number. So this the number. He said yeah. Okay. So, I texted him. Like I said, those text messages, some of those are the ones that I've lost. But me and him texted a little bit back and forth, not a whole lot. Same problem as any other thing. If I was called, no response, no answer the phone. It's just ongoing, like this. So August 29th, 2021. It's like 3 or 4 months going on. Will you be at the shop Monday? I need to pick that subframe up, and if you have the turbo manifold and downpipe off your car, I'll pick it up too. So I like to pick the lower and upper intake up as well, so I can go ahead and have them powder coated. He said, okay, let me know what time. I've got a pack today. And texting back, so you're going to be there this whole week, right? The bad storm coming in might make me leave a day or two behind, but it won't be no later than Wednesday. And if you're not there, let whoever know in line so I can get the stuff. He said, yeah. Alright, so from August 29th, 2021 to November 8th, 2021. I might get up with you about the engine on the rotors and porting. So we added scallops and rotors and it was full bridge. Sent me a pic of semi-PP. So me and Mike texted, which I got all those messages. Me and Mike, which is the engine machine shop, not Michael. Yeah. So, and I was like, why is it semi-PP? I paid for a full bridge. I mean, it's cool if I have semi-PP, but I paid for a full bridge. Somebody needs to modify my lower intake manifold because I'm not paying for somebody's mistake. Shouldn't have to. He said, no, he hasn't. He's got 720Bs of mine, one being my dad's. I'm just going to take what he gives me. I'm tired of waiting. He said he will call you and what does that mean for the engine then on the semi-PP? He said, I mean, nothing really, just more power. So you don't do a bridge on the iron semi-PP? And my lower intake I got was excessive lower. It would need to be modified. He said, no, just semi-PP. I said, well, can John modify the lower intake I got? He said, pull the work order on what we had talked about because I didn't want to modify the intake. And nowhere around here can do that for me. I want what we talked about. So he calls me. Yeah, he called me and we talked. And, it was like, he kind of like was aggravated with him, because that went on a big ordeal with him and, Mike, and it was just, it was a big clusterfuck on that. So from November 9th or 8th, we talked. November 9th, I think we had talked again. He'd called me back or something. We was talking about, getting some other stuff done on the engine. But from November 9th, 2021 to February 2nd, 2022, another year. So he said, got everything. So he sent me a picture of a bunch of engines, centric shafts, rotors, all sorts of stuff. He said the new engine and balancing room is almost ready. So I'll let you know when I got it set all up to balance all of these, which is, a bunch of stuff. And sent me more pictures of the balancer. I said, sweet, getting close now, huh? No response. Next day, he sent me pictures of my rotors. So I guess the rotors was done. We ended up not going scalloped. He said he ended up having a failure on them or something. He didn't really like the way they worked, so we kind of like blew that off, not doing that. Which I'm assuming we didn't, do that. There's a lot of stuff I don't even really think this is my 20B, and I'll get to that. He said, yeah, as soon as the room was built and ready to balance it and start it. Crazy, this has been there for almost a year. Still need to get one more 20B and two more 13Bs. We will be improving how long builds take now that we have a machine to do it in-house. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get mine, starting pretty soon. I don't think I'm gonna have my engine. So I said, yeah, it's been there a minute, LOL, to the point of getting very stressed, but I've trusted y'all because I know it will be right. I know it will be right. They do phenomenal work. I hear all these people talk about, there's a lot of, people that I heard that, oh, they don't know nothing, they don't know this, they don't know that. I've seen what they can do. I knew what they can do from day one when I seen their work, when they first started, doing cars and all that. I like their content, I like their vibe, family, a couple brothers, doing what they love, and, just me and Dad do what we like, so, I like that about them. So will you still be building the harness and tuning, or moving on to more just engine stuff? Takes him back, and he said, whatever you need us to do. So, he kind of was wanting to get away from that, but, he was like, whatever you need us to do still, cool, So from there to May 23rd, 2022, I said, I've been trying to get up with you going on 3 weeks now. Any updates? I feel like I'm being avoided. And I feel like I've been avoided this whole damn time. So he said, send me a text with your name to the phone that was lost. I didn't get a chance to see the response of which Fastenal to send to. Because, we were supposed to send this stuff through Fastenal, engine and all this. So I said, oh, okay, yeah, I've texted multiple times and never got a response. I was getting frustrated. Sent him screenshots of You can see screenshots here that I sent him when I texted him. All these texts, sent him the address, anything on the porch yet, any info on the engine. I'm texting him every way I can try to get hold of him. Any news, any updates, question mark, any news, you know, any updates, find anything on the shipping, anything on the engine or balancer, you know, all the stuff I keep on, you know. So he said, yeah, I lost the phone for 2 weeks, couldn't find it, so I got another one, but no messages on it. But send me the name of Fastenal. So that's why I've been trying to get up with you about. You think you will have it done together by the first week of September? So I'm going to Richmond and dropping Dad's engine off to a guy that builds Buicks and was going to come your way. He was going to drop Dad's off, his engine off. He has a couple Grand Nationals. We're going to drop his Buick engine off to a guy. We didn't end up doing that, but I was making a point, you know, that I'm coming up there. So from there, that was the 23rd. Takes him back 2 hours later. So if that's possible, I'll swing in and pick all of it up instead of you trying to get all that shipping stuff loaded and, you know, crap like that. So he texted me back a few hours later. Said, yeah, that's possible. Next day, I said, if that could be made possible, that would be awesome, and I could get everything out of your way. So from May 24, 2022 to May 31st, what's your new number so I can give you a call after a while? Text him back about 20-30 minutes later. So would you or anyone know be interested in the 20B for what I'm in it price wise? No response, question mark. And the reason why I asked this was we were going to get a bundle of, you know, some LSXs. At this point, I'm ready to just LS swap the car. You know, it's going on, you know, 3 or 4 years, and just, you know, on and on and on and on and on. You know, I had a couple, you know, possible lined up sponsors, and you know, I'm not able to make content, you know, post stuff for the other couple little sponsors that I had. So, you know, I'm in the business world too, you know, doing for them because they're helping me. So, you know, and I just keep on getting blowed off, so I can't do this. You know, so I'm just like, you know, if I can get rid of the 20B, but at this point, I'll put an LS in the car. I don't even care. I just want to get the car running, you know. I like rotaries, rotary shops, ridiculous. You know, they're to a point, you know, it's just, at this point, you know, I'm fed up with them. I don't trust them. You know, I started getting to the point of, you know, I wish I would send my engine overseas. All sorts of stuff, you know, so he texted me back about an hour later. He said, I can ask some people, but most likely I will be. So I said, can you talk? He said, not right now, just saw the phone is dead. I got it hooked up. It's okay, just need to get my car going before my other sponsor dropped me. So I had a couple that I had lined up, did. You know, I had possibly lined up a possible thing to maybe go to SEMA, had a possible maybe to, you know, lined up to go to PRI. So it was like, you know, one of the things that all that fell through because of this. I said we are in the process of starting our own business, and I'm just going to LS turbo swap it because I can't wait any longer. So no response. From May 31st to June 3rd, he said found someone to buy the subframe and turbo manifold. As soon as I get the money, send it. PayPal good. I said, yeah, you remember the price on it, right? Well, what about the engine? He said, working on that too. I said, I have an excessive lower, short intake, primary and secondary rails, 6 injectors, and 6 ID 1050 injectors too. I said, anyone interested in that? He said, I can ask. So, and about an hour later, I said, okay, I'll send some pics. I'll take $2K for all that as a package. No response. June 11th, 2022. Today, have you made any headway on the 20B? Ever seen someone take so long on an engine? Because, you know, I'm used to, you know, we take our LS swaps, you know, all our LS engines or any of our normal, you know, Honda engines, you know, we got a machine shop, you know, 45 minutes down the road. You know, even the ones that's, you know, a couple hours away, and, you know, they'll be done, you know, full engine build, you know, a month to 4 months, you know. So I'm just like, you know, what the hell? This is what you do for a living, you know, rotary. So I mean, it ain't like you're doing 100 different things, you know. You've had the damn money almost right up front, you know. Gave that to you, you know, within 4 or 5 months. All the cash, you've had the engine going on for 4 years, you know. I'm like, what the hell, you know, at this point. So, next day, I said, well, I guess since I can't get no answers back for a simple question, this seems to be dragging out again and again and again. I'm going to be lawyering up to get my stuff back. Because at this point, I'm feeling like, I'm seeing him getting cars going and, all this. Is he using my engine? This is stuff that goes through your head, So, he said, you're confusing me. Didn't you want to sell it? I already sold the subframe. Money comes in Monday to send it to you. I said, yes, at a point, because you're taking forever and I'm ready to get my car going. And I'm literally waiting on you, and I've been so patient with you, but at the end of the day, 20B is what I want. But I don't want my stuff to be sitting with you another 10 years or some crazy amount of time. When I have made it easy on your end of just building the engine, and you never let me know about you was selling it. And you didn't ask me about a price or anything. No problem on the subframe. I can buy me one local. But I just either need my engine finished, which I've paid for, or need my stuff and the labor money back on what you haven't done or something. I said, well, I can continue with the build and finish balancing it, but I need to be realistic with you. Our one of 10 engines at the machine shop took a year and a half way finish, or what he was saying there, but took a year and a half, I guess, to finish. So I'm doing the best I can to get them out. So if we aren't selling it, I can continue to build it. So yeah, I understand that, but do you realize in August it will be 4 years this is dragged out? Plus, when we first met, you quoted me 3 months. You could have a full car build. I said 6 months, then I made it easy on you to just build the engine, and was all before COVID and everything getting slowed down on orders and shit. So yeah, I want it done, and I just feel like you have put these big guys in front of us smaller guys to make y'all look good, and it's fucking us, because at that point, he's going, and I think it was like Cletus. He had got Cletus's engine done for the mystery machine. He's building engines for, all these other people, starting with Adam, building engines for Adam. Tommy F, got an engine built, and he's going these places. He's going there. So, how fucked up is it? I've already paid for my stuff, but their stuff's getting done. Their cars are getting put together. You're going to their shops and doing this sort of stuff, It's kind of frustrating. He said, I understand your frustration. I'll get back on it. And we already started investing in machines for the shops to do everything in-house. So I'm knocking down the COVID backlog, and we haven't taken any new jobs in the past year till everything is done. I said, then how come on the video I posted, you was using the balancer, and you kept saying it needed a part that you needed, but it looked fine to me, and furthermore, where is my shit in line then? He said, there's a tool that was meant for balancing the rotors, but I said, so what is left on the engine then? He said, we bought the machine on October and finally got it working, hence why we posted now. Balancing is what's left. It's already ported, pinned, oil modded. So just crank and rotors need balance and assembly. He said, yes. I said, okay. I will be in Virginia September 3rd to 4th. One of them days we have to drop Dad's engine off to a guy in Richmond. So I'll be at your shop before his. So I need my engine done by then, and you to be there at the shop so I can pick it up. The last time you was supposed to be there and you wasn't, and then I couldn't get up with you, so that's why I'm saying this. He said, yeah, no problem. Put it on the counter at the shop. I appreciate you mount to me and the patience. I said, yeah, also, what is the amount you sold the subframe for? Was that all you sold? Because, he didn't tell me if that was all he sold. Didn't tell me the price he got out of it, nothing like that, I said, I need it ASAP so I can get the subframe, because mine is out of my car right now with the rack and stuff, so it's been on jack stands for 2 years, which it was out in the weather. Once I got the car back, so I'm trying to work on it. Waiting on it now, so I need the money so I can get the subframe, because subframe company local to me, so from June 12th, this was later in the day, texting, I said, I need pictures of the engine going together before I head up there as well, and you will be hearing from me till I get the stuff. He said, yeah, take pics of step-by-step with the assembly. Also sold for $1,600 stuff for him. But it was paper. Sorry, it's the GoPro down. But, yeah, so, you know, at this point, you know, we text back and forth a bunch. You know, still same problem. You know, couldn't get him to, you know, get a hold of me and all this. And, you know, just the same thing on and on and on and on and on. So he was going to Cletus and Cars there. I think it was around like August. And so I made it a point, you know, he was supposed to take my engine up there. Well, went on, you know, he said that he couldn't get the seals, and that, you know, be this long till they're in. And I was like, for coolant seals, you can't get them. Dude, you've had the money for, you know, 4 years. You should already have the coolant seals, but now you're having a problem having coolant seals. And it's been 4 years, you know. So I contacted the company myself, and they said they was out of stock of coolant seals, but I was like, you know, the fact of the matter is, you know, you've had this, you know, this long, you could have had the freaking coolant seals. So, well, he was supposed to have the engine done to be at Bristol, and I was going there for the Cletus and Cars event. So I told him, you know, bring everything. And he was supposed to bring like balancing sheet and all this stuff. I never got a balancing sheet. He sent me a picture of it, but, you know, I was supposed to have a sheet, and he never sent me, you know, pictures at that time. He's supposed to send me pictures, you know, engines, you know, stuff getting put together and everything. I never got none of that at the time till I got the engine, you know, when I went to pick it up finally. But so I met him there at Bristol, and I picked up the manifold, upper and lower intake, everything else I picked up, because, you know, I've made like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 trips up there from Alabama to Virginia, you know, and that's, you know, it's like a 14-hour ride every time. So, you know, I've been up there, I think, 3 times with the truck. You know, once to drop it off, once to pick it up, and then once we was, you know, going through there to families in Ohio. So, you know, truck and trailer again. You know, that's not cheap, you know, back and forth like that. You know, you got to get hotels and all this. So, you know, I'm out thousands of dollars, you know, between fuel going up there, the, you know, hotel rooms, all this crap. You know, I'm out just thousands of dollars for doing this. I don't know about y'all, but, you know, I don't make just gobs and gobs of money, so, you know, my money's tight. You know, I work hard for my money. I go to work every day. I got side jobs, you know, I do and everything like that. So, you know, any bit I can get, you know, goes my, you know, cars here. So, you know, it's tough. You know, from there, let's see, it went on. Basically, you know, I talked to him there at the event, and he was going to be going to, I think, another event or something in Florida. So I was like, look, can you come by? You know, you got to come by somewhere around this area. You know, I've been up there a bunch, so can you come by and tune my FC for me? So, and I was like, look, you can have the engine done, you know, drop it off to me. We got a forklift here at the shop. I was like, you know, I'll pay you to tune my car. So it's like, you know, it's, to do that out of the way, I think it was 2 hours, like, out of his way. So I was like, you know, I'll pay you to tune my car. For coming out of the way, you know, you'll make money. So, and he was like, oh, you know, we don't do tuning no more, you know, stuff like that, because, you know, all the EPA stuff and, you know, everything was going on. So, and I was like, but, you know, he told me if I brought it up there, he could tune it, but you can't tune it for me here, you know. So it's just, you know, it's real strange. So, yeah, you know, so we go to the event, I get all my stuff and everything. So, like, a couple days later, and I'd asked him, I'd text him, I was like, hey, you get the seals in, because the seals was supposed to come in. He told me that, you know, they sent the seals out, and the girl messed up the packaging. So she was supposed to send, you know, an extra. They, you know, put another one in there. She only sent the one that was labeled 20B. I don't know if that's true or not, but, you know, the type of dude, you know, like, I understand. You know, I'm not going to, you know, be a dick about it, which I was kind of being a dick, you know, at that point. But what do you expect? You know, you're out $14,500, been going like, you know, 4 years. You know, wouldn't you be kind of like upset too? You know, you're seeing all of these big, you know, stars get their engine, you know, all these YouTubers, get their cars and engines and stuff, and it's just crazy to me that you're just dragging mine out when I know I've paid way first, because they didn't, they was talking about in their videos, that they was going to go to Michael and see if he can do this, and all this, they was going to get all this done. So, I know I've paid for my stuff way before them. So, this is going on at this point, it's about a month after September 29th. And, and asked me, I was like, hey, look, any update on these seals, man? I was like, it's ridiculous. I'll call these, these people my damn self, because this is ridiculous. Some damn coolant seals. You're telling me other shops can't build engines too. This is crazy, mind blowing. I called them, like I said, they said that they was out of the seals. So, it went on towards the end of October. Messaged him again, and he's like, they didn't have them right at the end of October. He ends up sending me a screenshot and said that the seals are finally on the way to them. So then they got to be sent from them to him. Just so he could be building engines. He's stressing out, he ain't built engines in 3 months. So, it's just that's crazy though to me. You're getting these guys' engines done, but you're not, the YouTubers' engines, but you're not getting the other engines done. Fine, all the rest of the guys. It's just crazy to me. So, we get to, it's, I think November or something, the seals finally come in. Cool, I'm like, heck yeah, the engine's about to be, it's going to start going, pretty quick now. Well, I texted him. I waited 2 or 3 weeks, wanted to give him some time, and I texted him. I was like, hey, what's the engine looking like? Any updates? You got that thing probably slapped together, don't you? And he was like, well, it's, he's off vacation, stuff like that. And I understood, ain't no biggie. I mean, it's Christmas. But, this is December 14th that I'm asking you this, not, the week of Christmas. This is, 2 weeks before Christmas. So, but, I guess if you take off a whole month, I mean, good for you, I guess, if you can afford it. But, so, he says that. So, I'll wait, text him, like I said, get up with him, around Christmas time. And, anything update on the engine, I think it's 2 days after Christmas or the next day after. Any update on the engine, what's going on now, this is ridiculous. So, and, I think, this is December 26, 2022. So I was like, anything done on this engine? And he's like, nah, been out Christmas, blah, 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 all this, So I waited, texted him back at, January 6th. Like, dude, look, I need this engine done. I have to have this engine done. I cannot wait any longer. So, whatever it's going to take that, we need to do, it is what it is. You say you got these seals in, that was what was holding you up with seals. But, what's the problem now? Everything was supposed to be done. All the balancing was supposed to be done. All the porting's already done. All the studs done. All the machine work's done. You was waiting on coolant seals. That was it. And everything else was already supposed to be, the rotors and stuff was already supposed to be built and everything put together. Literally all you need was these seals, these coolant seals, to slap the engine together. So, and that went from, what was it, September to December. You finally get them in. He had everything ready in September, he said, before cleaning some cars. But, now in December, you've had the seals for a month and still haven't even got it together. So, this is going on days, weeks. I'm texting him, and he's, saying that he could have the engine done, within a few weeks. He's got to go out to Vegas, and, and I'm like, man, what the heck, dude, as a matter of fact, I think he went out to Vegas for the show he was doing for Netflix, and so it was just man, this is ridiculous. You got to go out of town again. You got to, all I feel like, doing is excuses. So, I told him, dude, look, I need to know, what's going on. This is ridiculous. I need the engine done. I have a show lined up. I need the engine where I can at least get it into this car to take it to this show. Well, wouldn't you figure? No response. And when I did finally get him to respond, it was after the point of, show was already passed. Couldn't go to the show. I couldn't represent for my sponsors. Couldn't represent for me, our shop, nothing like that. So, just, year after year after year, the same damn thing, just keep on happening. So March 6th, I get up with them. I'm like, I text them like, hey man, I need to know, what's the deal with the engine? It's March 6th, 2023 at this point of this year. So I'm like, I need to know what's going on. I need to get this engine. So no response. I think I texted him like a few days later. I was like, look, dude, I'm gonna be up there this day. This is when I'm gonna be there. I need you there. I'm picking the engine up. You better be there. So and he responds, and we text back and forth, talking about the date that I can come. He'll be here at this time. And I'm like, I'm gonna call you. And I guess he ends up calling me after I said that, and we talked, and Dad was there with me. Dad got on the phone, was like, look, this is Daniel's dad. Dude, this is just ridiculous. We're coming to pick this engine up. You better be there. If we call, you better answer the phone. If we text, you better be texting back. He said, because when I get there, and if you're not there at that shop, it's gonna be some hell to pay. This is just outright, just absolutely ridiculous. There's no reason it should have took going on 5 years for a damn engine that was paid for within 6 months to be built. Again, you got to think, I ended up paying $14,500 is what I gave him for this engine and a manifold, and that's not part of that $14,500. I supplied a turbo. I bought that. So, somewhere in the mix of, $18,000 due to a swap, that was with, depending on what turbo, and ECU, that was really like what turbo and stuff he was going with. I got rid of all that, basically out of the equation. Went from $18,000 to $14,500. I'm in a motor now. So, that's just crazy. How do you go from this to that? At this point, look, dude, I'm sick and fucking tired of it. I want my damn engine. So, it was what it was. So I texted him back and forth. We was we was leaving out like a week or something, or the weekend, and we ended up having a problem with some trailer light issues because we was going to go to Virginia because we was going to Ohio to pick up 3 cars. So we had a 2-car trailer on there. So this is like, another trip out of the way. Ohio is only like 10 hours for us. So that's 14 hours to Virginia. And then, from Virginia all the way to Ohio, it was a trip. It was ridiculous. So, we finally made it up there. And he responded back, pretty good. He kept in touch pretty good at that point. And, we sat there like an hour and a half waiting on him. And he had a problem. He had to go pick up Mallory's car for paint, and it was, the same old. Then I got there and I seen my engine, which I'll show y'all here now. But here's the engine. I did not ask for this color at all. Didn't ask him to powder coat. I really wanted black and red, so I don't know where this orangish yellow, whatever is, at this point. He, as you can see, there's 20B housings not even on this engine. So, that right there kind of like pissed me off when I seen that, because, if you buy a 20B, you want 20B, right there on there. So, you see that kind of pisses you off. But, man, it's a long time. Like I said, he, did everything. It's fully studded. A lot of this stuff, I don't know exactly what's done on the inside, but it's supposed to be full Bridgeport, fully studded. It's lightened rotors. They're high compression S4 NA rotors, fully balanced. The like you couldn't do no more to this engine other than, you know, going maybe like full peripheral or something, you know, or going to billet irons. So, you know, this, I asked him, he said should easily be good, you know, 1300 wheel capable. So, you know, and I would like to make 1,000 with this, you know. Like I said, I would definitely love to have this car, you know, be a 1,000 horsepower car. So, but yeah, you know, it took forever to get this thing, and now I was going to change the color of it, but what it is at this point, I am going to get the lower intake powder coated, and I got the upper right there. I'm going to get it powder coated, color I want. I got all aluminum fuel rails for it, excessive rails. I already got the ID injectors for it. I had the manifold, but hits the intake right there where I got it circled at. So now I need a manifold made for it, which I'm probably gonna custom like up here in the front or something. But you know, during all that time and that's doing that, I got a non-power rack for it, which I still got to get the subframe, but I already got a spec clutch for it. You know, I got a lot of stuff for this car, so it's been a real struggle, you know, waiting, like I said, right around, you know, around the 5 years mark just to get the damn engine. You know, at this point I went from being a teenager to, you know, now I'm going on 24 years old, so I've worked hard for this, you know. All my extra monies went into this. I got my own house now, and it's just like, you know, at this point, it's real tough for me to do this. So, you know, and I was going to throw this together, but I'm going to do it right. So I've waited this long. I'm going through the harness on the car, and, you know, I'm going to make sure it's right. I am going to leave the stock trans in here for now, just where I can get the car running and everything, but I have a CDO9 for it. I would like to put a sequential in this car in the future because I want to keep this car stick shift. But I'll probably do the CDO9. You know, they're pretty decent for a good amount of power. I already got a 488 rear end. I just need the kit for that too. But you know, to be non-power, I got an OEM non-power rack for it. And then I'm doing a electric AC kit, remote mount AC, so nothing will be up here in the way. It'll be pretty clean engine bay. I'm gonna try to clean up everything that's, you know, much as possible, minimal wiring, stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, it's been a long journey just to be able to have this engine in my, you know, presence. So, you know, this is all I've wanted forever, is just have this engine, you know, and I could turn back around. Like I said, I'm in this thing for around like 14, 15 grand. Easily turn around and get my money. Actually, I make money off this, but you know, I'm not going to. So this is what I wanted. Like I said, I already got, you know, I got a new clutch for it, still in the package. I just gotta, once I get that subframe and oil pan, do all this and start, you know, pulling all these lines out, cap off the AC lines for now till I get the AC kit and mock up a few things. And I already got all the paint for this car. Y'all seen one of the last videos. And I got a better set of fenders for it. I got a good bumper for it. And basically we're gonna blast this car back apart, and I'm gonna repaint the whole car, whole engine bay, and slap in that new subframe and get the engine in there, get all the fuel system, got all the fuel lines up there, regulators already on the car, get all the fuel system done, get the rest of the harness up here in the front finished up, and then, you know, start just, you know, getting everything ran. I want to get a different brake set up and all this. It's just a stock harness. I got to pull off the wiring out of here because I want to try to make the attack work once I get my ECU for it. Not really showing ECU. I kind of want to get a fuel tech, but yeah, you know, it's been a long time coming for that. So, you know, that is that's my, you know, my 20B experience. It's been a hell of a ride, long time. You know, I've went from you know, my mom wanted to see this happen forever for me. You know, she was a big supporter of it. That's where, you know, on my shirts here. On the back it says "Follow your dreams," because she had always tell me that, and I got to keep that in the back of my mind. That's what she tells me all the time. So, back in 2020 when I was going through all this, we all got COVID real bad, and I lost my grandpa, and then 3 days later I lost my mom. 2 weeks later I lost my grandma, and that was tough. I had COVID real bad, real bad, almost having to go to the hospital bad, and they was all in the hospital, never even got to see my mom. My papa was on a ventilator during that time, didn't even get to talk to him. Luckily I got to talk to my grandma. So it's been a long process, been a headache, it's been a struggle, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. And I just want to tell y'all, follow your dreams, stick to it. Whatever it is, struggle, just keep on fighting. So, but I know this video is getting, pretty long, pretty dragged out, probably tired of me talking, but look, I appreciate y'all. Like, comment, subscribe, follow your dreams. Peace.